So, as you saw for yourself, Buc-ee's is a huge store, isn't it? 120 pumps, if I didn't say so earlier. And they literally do have a little bit of everything. And yes, I was right. It is a Texas based gas station slash convenience store. And they had like five or six different barbecue sandwiches that you could purchase. They also had beaver chips, which were absolutely incredible. Now, I did not show you guys any of the food that I had purchased for myself, but I did show you guys like what kind of food that they did have. That was just a small portion of what they sold in the store. Like whether it was food and beverage or whether it was merchandise, there was still a lot more I did not show you guys in that small clip. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what I went and saw, and that was just the Richmond location. As I also said, it is Texas based, so they're all over Texas, and they always say whatever everything's big in Texas. So I can imagine that all the biggest locations are in Texas. However, though, ironically, if I didn't say earlier, the biggest location to come to the country is actually going to open next year in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. So if you are planning a trip out to Pigeon Forge, Dollywood area, whatever, Gatlinburg, just so you guys have an idea of like what's around there, I would strongly recommend that you make a trip over to Buc-ee's to not just fill up your car, but to go buy everything that you need for the day or the week. I know there's a couple YouTuber that loves Buc-ee's and they like traveling the country and they literally will camp out at Buc-ee's, and that is literally how they will live. Now, unfortunately, Buc-ee's does not have a membership program, which is very unfortunate, and I did find that out for myself. I was like, really? And when I do have some more money, I do want to go back out to Buc-ee's and go get some merchandise, because I think that would be kind of cool to have the Buc-ee's merchandise, since I already have Wawa merchandise. Speaking of Wawa, let's now look at what a Wawa looks like. I mean, you could take my word for it, but I think it'd be cooler to show you guys. So, check out this random YouTube video that I found on the internet, whatever, of Wawa. Doesn't matter which location it is, to be honest, by the way. There it is. There we go.
It's funny because actually,
Dude, they ain't playing when they say this place is huge. Wow.
the incumbents should make a partnership with this.
No, you're good. You're good. Wow, this place is huge. That's one end, and that's the other. That's all gas pumps. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. And now I'm about to go inside the store with these guys, and I wanted to show you guys what it looks like from the very front. So they got a bunch of ice over here. I'm going to be definitely taking pictures, even though I look like a complete weirdo. And there's more over here. I don't mind if they kind of do their own thing. They have just two containers, just as small. If you both kind of just want to wander around and do your own thing, I'm cool with that. Don't mind me, I'm just kind of in my zone right now. And then they got like grills out here, and then fire pits. That's interesting. And then it looks like they've got salts and more grills or fire pits. So they got lots and lots of firewood. Oh, that's the best quality corn. Okay, I'm so sorry. And what the heck is this? Right. Oh, it smells absolutely amazing in here. Oh my word. Wow. Wow. Is this A Walmart, or is this a gas station? Wow. I always knew it was huge. Wow. They've literally got a little bit of everything in here. I drove all the way from Lawrence to Williamstown.
Then I went all the way to Georgetown. Then I went to Richmond.
Just to come see this place. Of course, I had to work first. I definitely want barbecue, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's why I stopped at Williamstown, which is where the Ark is at.
So, these are extremely popular in Texas. Actually, that's where this place is originally from. It's a Texas-based gas station. These are extremely, ridiculously popular, whatever you want to say. Even Adam the Woo loves this place.
That's a
And
fact.
of course, he's been before I have. I'm finally going for my very first time. I hope this gets a lot of attention on YouTube. That's cool. Hey everyone, my name is David Dunbar, or the Theme Park Evangelist. So, yesterday I went to Buc-ee's in Richmond, Kentucky for the very first time. I went with Caitlin and her husband. I just didn't show them all that much on YouTube because I didn't feel like she really wanted to have her husband shown all that much, or he didn't really feel it, or I didn't feel like he wanted to be shown all that much on YouTube. But I know she wouldn't have personally cared because she had asked me days before if she could be on YouTube, and that's why I tried to make sure the camera was pointed at her quite a bit more. But anyhow, aside from that, so that was the very first time not only had I been in a Buc-ee's, but also that was the very first time I had checked out the very first one to come to Kentucky. So it was kind of a win-win-win situation. I got to see a Buc-ee's for the first time. I got to YouTube the very first one to open in Kentucky. And also, I got to check out the one that came to Kentucky at the same time. So that was kind of cool. And it had only been around for about a month. And I think I'm the very first YouTuber to go and check out that Buc-ee's. By the way, I worded it, I just generalized it and said I finally got to check out a Buc-ee's. Because I figured that since I had never seen it before, that made more sense for me to title it that way instead. So, anyhow, I wanted to do something a little different this afternoon instead of my normal discussion, which is usually my high school days or life as a working Disney cast member. So instead, I wanted to do a comparison contrast kind of thing, not really a pro or con kind of thing, really, but a comparison and contrast. And to do that, I need to use visuals, so I'm going to have to use my phone, which is currently charging, but I'm just not going to unplug it. I'm going to have to move my laptop down to this side of the bed over here, to my left, that is, so you guys can see like what I'm going to do. So more or less, I'm going to show you guys little clips from the time I went over to Buc-ee's yesterday. So I'm going to show you a little bit of my YouTube video from yesterday, and then I'm also going to talk about it afterwards, and then I'm going to show you guys what a Wawa looks like. So I've never actually YouTubed a Wawa before, believe it or not, which I need to do that. I really need a YouTube one. It's not like I haven't been into one a billion times, but I figured that I need to YouTube what a Wawa looks like. Then I'm going to discuss it. And when I'm discussing these things, not only am I going to discuss like what they have in them, I'm going to discuss like where they came from, where you can find them. So I won't deny right off the bat that one is easier to find than the other, but one is more popular than the other, and we're going to discuss that later on. So with that being said, and the usage of the editing feature I have on this Chromebook, thankfully, because I found one. We're going to do a very different, awesome discussion topic today before I go do some grocery shopping and go to a board game night. So sit back, relax, and let's discuss Buc-ee's versus Wawa.
I'm so hungry right now. Okay, over here they have combos. This is where you can get a soda. How sweet is this though? Grab and go. Over here we have our vitamins. We all need some candy. Smart water. Look, you can just grab a bagel though. It's already prepared.
Fresh baked soft pretzels.
They've got every type that I like. I had no idea they had all of this space in here. All of the beer. I can't wait for lunch and dessert. Look at that Oreo thing.
Why do you want an Oreo thing? It's literally 8 in the morning.
Yes, this is what I was talking about, the Oreo stuff. The thing out there was just an iced coffee, but the Oreo most stuffed cream smoothie, I want to get all 3 of those. But not now, it's breakfast time. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Yes.
Dude, this is like a full freaking restaurant at a gas station. Is this even breakfast anymore? Ham and egg, spicy turkey and egg, garlic turkey and egg. Would you like to add a side of sour cream? This could be such a loaded breakfast sandwich, it's ridiculous. Every single time I think like I've seen everything, more screens pop up with more options. Let us know if we overdid it. Look at, they got the king-size white chocolate, Reese's Sticks, Reese's Fast Break, Reese's Minis, and then they're like, oh, M&M's, okay. They're having it prepared fresh, but they have it already here.
No, this is different. This has got a sizzle pancake, croissant.
We're gonna need to get some of those. Are there White Claws in here? I'm not gonna be able to drink anything other than a White Claw. Ooh, that stuff is so low in calorie. I'm gonna get some of that actually right now. I live in Florida. I drink fruity seltzers.
I used to live in Florida.
Oh, there's the White Claws.
Ah. Look, this is us.
Oh, cool.
Super quick. That looks so good. So much good food. This is gonna taste awesome.
I love my 0-calorie drink, and it gives me caffeine.
According to Wikipedia.org, Wawa takes its name from the Ojibwe word for wild goose foo.
So that's a wild goose.
Quesadilla.
Dude, that looks legit good. Dude, it's big.
Dude, it's got cream cheese, ham, pico de gallo,
Omelet.
with salsa. Dude, ham, egg, and cream cheese.
This is so good. It looks so good. Like, seriously, this is picture perfect. That's good bread. Other side of the bun is cream cheese,
Spicy relish.
the sausage, and then they put the cheese underneath, melted all the way into the bread. Look at that. How come we've never been here before?
Add it up.
I love the spice on this. Oh my god. I can't believe this is just breakfast and they had more stuff.
So that was Wawa. And not to mention, that was just breakfast. So what you saw me eating, well, really not what you saw me eating necessarily. What you saw them serving was just dinner. And then, of course, what you saw those two eating was just breakfast alone. And I only showed you guys a small portion of what they had. And I tried to keep the video about the same length as mine was. So I would keep it fair and not way I'm not favoring one place over the other. Maybe that video was about 8 seconds longer, but still, whatever. So, anyhow, I'm going to point out the following that I noticed in that video. First of all, they mentioned that they live in Florida. So, actually, Wawa's a Pennsylvania-based gas station / convenience store. But you can only find them in 2 states, as strange as that sounds. And those are, I should say, Pennsylvania and Florida. somehow during its run, it managed to make it all the way down to Florida, where it's growing like a wildflower, or like a weed, or pollen, even whatever you want to say, that grows like crazy. Wawas are all over Florida, and they're still growing. I wish they would make it out their way out here, but they haven't yet for whatever reason. So first, I want to mention that part. Also, I wanted to mention that the very first location that I ever went to in Florida was off of the Orange Blossom Trail, what we call the OBT down in Florida. And also, my dad was the very first one to get me into Wawa, and I got into Wawa probably within the last decade sometime. So I've been going to Wawa for about 7 years, maybe longer. So it's something I've definitely known about for a long time. They even made their way down to Lake Wales. I've been to 2 brand new locations, or like grand opening dates. So I've been to the Winter Havens grand opening day. I've also been to the Lake Wales grand opening day. Wawa grand openings are a lot easier to attend than Buc-ee's, depending on where you live, because Buc-ee's tend to be built wherever there's a lot of space because they're so big, versus Wawa's can go almost anywhere, and they're usually a good size. I mean, they're bigger than your typical United Dairy Farmers, Speedway, BP, Shell, Exxon, you name it. They are bigger, but they're definitely not as nice. Racetrack is another leading competitor down in Florida, and they are trying so hard to compete with Wawa right now, which is actually why a lot of their older locations are getting redone. And a lot of the new things that they're adding on right now are something called a Froyo station. So if you're not familiar with Froyo, it's basically an area where you can get up to 7 different flavors of frozen yogurt, and then you get to go over to a topping bar, and then you get to top it, and then you bring it over to the register, and then they have a little scale for the frozen yogurt to be weighed on, and then depending on how much the frozen yogurt weighs is how much you have to pay for it. So that's something that Racetrack is trying to do to compete with Wawa now, because Wawa is dominating with the whatever you call it, the gas station industry, at least in Florida, but not necessarily across the nation. But I did notice that Wawa does have about 1.4 million Facebook page likes, versus Buc-ee's has about 400,000. But some people are going to be like, well, Facebook isn't, always the most accurate. You're right. So let's look at other things instead that I could start focusing on. But first, I wanted to mention other things that I like about Wawa, and then we'll get more into the video. Another thing that they did not mention in the video that I do know about is Wawa has a reward program, and I found out in Florida you can save 15 cents per gallon at the pump right now. You can't do that with Buc-ee's, so that's why they instead try to keep their gas prices lower, so that way more people want to flock all the way to Buc-ee's just to go fill up your car, versus I've been filling up in Dry Ridge at Speedway where I can get 6 cents off, and then I'm paying only slightly more per gallon than I would be by driving all the way down to Richmond. And then I went up going through more gas. And I'm actually not too far from Dry Ridge. I'm actually only about 2 miles away. That's nothing compared to driving all the way to Richmond, which is an additional 76 miles from the Ark Encounter. As insane as that is. If I were on my way to Florida, then yeah, I would stop at Buc-ee's on my way down there, and then it would be worth it. But if I'm just driving all the way down there just to drive all the way back to Florence, then there's no point. So anyhow, what else, or like what did we see in the video? So they mentioned that they have their own beer cave. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Buc-ee's has a beer cave, but I personally did not see it. But yes, Wawa takes great pride in their beer caves. Also, you saw that you can custom order your food, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They actually have a dinner menu now, which is brand new as of this year. Crazy, right? And then also, they give you all these options. One thing I really like about going to Wawa is the fact that you can order like a hoagie, for example, and you can add on a wheat roll to go on with that hoagie, and then they also ask you, do you want to add on a soup to go with that? And then they give you like 5 different choices of soups that you can add on. And then you can also get butter off your bread for no additional cost, which is really nice. And as far as like hoagies, you might ask me, well, how many hoagies do they have? They have about 20, maybe 25 different styles of hoagies that you can get. On top of that, they have a whole beverage menu. So just at their kiosk alone, you can get up to like 5 different flavors or 7 different flavors of just milkshakes alone. That's not even including their smoothies and their cheesecake cream smoothies, which is a completely different ball game. And then, of course, they also have Coca-Cola Freestyle machines, which you might have noticed. They did not show this in the YouTube video, but they have a whole coffee bar too, which something else I did notice that Buc-ee's does have. But one thing I did notice that Wawa has that I'm not sure if Buc-ee's has it yet or not is the fact that Wawa does have seasonal coffee. So what I mean by that is, say for example, during the winter, Wawa brings in their winter coffee. It's only available for a limited time, and then my personal absolute favorite that they bring in every fall is their pumpkin coffee. And I actually will special order that usually during the fall if I have the money, and then if I don't have the money for it, if they still have some left in stock, which they do normally by February, because they order too much normally, I will buy some. And I did notice they actually had some in stock left back in February when I was at the Lake Wales location, and I could have bought some, and TJ even asked me, do you want to buy some Wawa coffee? And I could not afford it for the life of me. I'm not going to say why, but I am going to say that he did at least ask. So I got to give him credit for that one. But anyhow, there are definitely some good things about Wawa for sure. But let's just start comparing and contrasting. So what does Buc-ee's have going for it? Well, first of all, they have a lot more gas pumps. Yes, the odds of going to Buc-ee's and finding that you have to wait in line to pay for gas is not an issue. Also, Buc-ee's, as you saw, has plenty of ethanol-free areas, as well as options where you can just put ethanol in your car. If you're a huge fan of barbecue, then Buc-ee's is definitely more your alley. I'm definitely learning the hard way. The Wawa does not have a lot of barbecue options, so I do appreciate that about Buc-ee's, is the fact that they do have 5 different barbecue sandwiches that you can buy, versus Wawa just has like a bit of everything. I also do appreciate the fact that Buc-ee's has a fudge shop. Buc-ee's also does have their own little bakery, so both places do have their own area where you can buy like donuts and baked goods, so like muffins, for example. So I can't exactly say that neither location is better than the other in that sense. They both are equal in that sense, just like the coffee. The one difference that I did see in coffee shops for both locations is the fact that Buc-ee's does allow you to put whipped cream on your coffee if you choose to, versus Wawa does not think it's necessary. Though I would not be surprised if I were to go up to the counter and ask one of the employees, hey, can I get whipped cream with this? They probably would do it, because they do not charge you for whipped cream at Wawa. And I would not be surprised if Buc-ee's feels the same way. Another thing I've noticed about Wawa that I see at Buc-ee's is Wawa does not really have a lot of merchandise, for example. Like, Wawa is pretty popular, but Wawa is not really well known for their merchandise. Buc-ee's is more well known for their merchandise. If you needed to, like, buy a t-shirt or you wanted to buy merchandise, if you're like a touristy guy, which is what I definitely saw about Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is very, very touristy. And that's probably why it was so busy. I was told by a good friend of mine, Scott, today at church, that one location that he went to not that long ago was literally shoulder to shoulder people. That's how busy it was. So, the Facebook does not always tell the truth about how popular a place is versus how popular in other places. Yes, Facebook might say that Wawa's the better place, but at the same time, both places are always busy. I've never walked into either location and not seen it busy, like, ever. I won't deny that Buc-ee's has grown quite popular over the past couple of years, but at the same time, my personal reason why I like Wawa better, and I don't ever want anybody to take my personal opinion the wrong way, because the last time I debated a place, which was Skylight versus Gold Star, I got cussed out. I had the F-bomb thrown right at me, and I was thinking to myself, whoa, man, or whoa, dude, whatever. My YouTube video was never, ever intended to say one place was better than the other. I was just having some fun. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and I've probably said it multiple times that the majority of Cincinnati just strongly believes, or personally believes, or even will even go as far as saying to me, there is no debate. Skyline Chili is the best chili fast food restaurant, or just the best chili in Cincinnati. No questions asked. That is the kind of talk I get. There is no debate here, and I would not be surprised if I get that kind of talk about debating Wawa versus Buc-ee's. Except that changed how I said, like what I said to, there is no debate on what is better. Like, it's Buc-ee's hands down, and I would get talked to just like that. Some people can just get so stinking entitled to their opinions that when someone like myself does a YouTube video just to have some fun and just to kind of just throw things out there, everybody gets all defensive and gets angry. It's just like, if you can't handle my opinion, then you shouldn't be throwing your comments on my YouTube video. That's all I have to say to you. We can all, watch this YouTube video together if we want to, and appreciate the fact that I took the time to discuss two different popular locations, and I never once said that one was better than the other. In fact, I'm not even, unless it was just my personal opinion, but otherwise I'm not even going to say, other than that Buc-ee's is better than Wawa, or Wawa is better than Buc-ee's. I think I learned from the last video. I'm just going to let everybody decide. If you have a personal preference, then go for it. In fact, I might even just go ahead and ask you guys in the comments below. Comment below. What do you think is the better gas station? Do you think it's Wawa, Buc-ee's, or do you think it's something else? It doesn't even have to be one of those two. It could be 7-Eleven. It could be Speedway. It could be Racetrack, like I mentioned. I used to be a huge fan of Racetrack. It could be BP or Shell or whatever. You could even care less about gas station and go, dude, I really don't have time to debate gas stations. I don't even know why I'm here. I just found this by mistake, which honestly that happens a lot of my YouTube videos, I've noticed. But my personal opinion, why I like Wawa better than Buc-ee's, is because Wawa gives you the ability to custom order things. And I've talked about that. I appreciate the fact that I can go to Wawa and have a legit sit down dinner. Now, Kay, my close friend Kay, she doesn't really care about Wawa. That's fine. If she had a choice between Wawa and Chick-fil-A, which, by the way, there is a Wawa that sits right next to a Chick-fil-A in Davenport, right off of Highway 27, she would rather go to Chick-fil-A. Do I blame her? No. Why would I rather go to Wawa? Because I don't go to Wawa all that often. Does she think about that half the time? No, actually, she doesn't think about that 99% of the time. But that's, not my problem. It's just, it is what it is. And, of course, I can understand why she likes Chick-fil-A better. It's just called that Chick-fil-A is a very popular place, too. But the point of this discussion is not to debate whether Wawa is better than Chick-fil-A or not. But if you guys even like Chick-fil-A better than both of those places, I mean, kudos to you. But hey, I love going to Wawa every time I go down to Florida. It's the only time I ever get to go. And if I ever take some friends from here, I would love to introduce them to Wawa myself and show them what I grew up going to for years. And then let them, by that point, be the real judge, which is better. Also, I would strongly suggest, if anybody has never been to a Wawa and you're a strong believer that Buc-ee's is the bee's knees or whatever talk you want to use, my strong suggestion to you guys is first go check out a Wawa before you go cuss me out or bash me apart online, or you threaten to kill me because I insulted you or I offended you in some way. Because you don't really know if anything's good until you try it for yourself. That's how my mom always taught me. You don't know if anything's good until you try it for yourself. I had seen Buc-ee's on YouTube. I did a lot of research on Buc-ee's before I went down there myself, and I did a lot of research. And actually, that was the final piece of research I had to do. I was actually telling Caitlin about this, how much research I put into stuff before I do a big debate like this. I spent several months, if not a year, maybe more, putting research into Buc-ee's before I knew I had all the right material I needed to talk about. All I needed was to show you guys a visual of Wawa and a visual of Buc-ee's, so you guys had a comparison and contrast to look at. So, anyways, let me go ahead and put the two YouTube videos together. And, well, not the two YouTube videos together, sorry. Let me go ahead and put all these clips together and, edit it all in that. Get it uploaded to YouTube, and then try to get over to the grocery store so I can get what I need for this board game night tonight. Until then, I will see you guys in the next vlog sometime this week. And I'll go back to my high school days and my Rise and Fall YouTube series again. Going on to Journey to Imagination this week was one of my next YouTube videos. And also, don't forget that Friday I'm going to try to debate not debate, but talk about the Rise and Fall, the Universe of Energy, because Cosmic Rewind opens on Friday. Also, Wednesday, Volcano Bay turns 5 years old, so be checking my Facebook page for a YouTube video that TJ and I shot back 5 years ago as of Wednesday of our first time at Volcano Bay on its grand opening day. Alright, I will see you guys in the next vlog. And always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Oh, now, have a great night. Peace out.